It blows my mind the degrading, disgusting, embarrassing things that these so-called mothers say, and I really want this to be recorded for the future. So when we look back on this, we will see this as another disgusting, sad, sick, demented part of human psychology, that people could be so like disgusting about something so horrible and just nonchalant about this. They're just so brainwashed, that I just couldn't let this go by without recording this, just because I think that people need to know. I mean, someday I hope we look back on this and just are flabbergasted and disgusted with the type of people that say these types of things. You know, I guess I would suppose this is like going back and looking in on a conversation between a bunch of slave traders talking about selling people and breaking up families, and you know, maybe even horrible things about the women. You know, it's just it's unbelievable that I live in a culture that's this backwards. That this is actually considered normal. So let's get into this. There's over 140K or 14K or 1.4K comments. I'm almost just a little bit upset about this, so I'm going to try to do this anyways. So we got a lot of 334 people. I bet a lot of those people are angry. Let's see who's the angry people here. Got 64 angry ones here. The decent people, I guess you could say, right here. But anyways, these are the decent people who see this for what it really is. Okay, so let's get into this. So who's on team circumcision? Because I am. Whew. And this is Caitlin Kinsman. Let's go look at her on Facebook. Looks like a normal human being, right? Admins in this group are fucking trash. Now we know who's fucking trash. It's not them. Y'all really got off in that mom shaming, huh? No, we're shaming child abuse, not mothers. Mothers don't abuse their children, so I don't know what you call yourself, but it's definitely not mother. I mean, just look at this. It's been 2 weeks and y'all still haven't changed. Y'all still haven't changed my mind. He's my son. And I'll have the right. I'll do what I have the right to do. It doesn't change your life in the slightest, so get lost. It actually does change my life, Caitlin, because I was mutilated, and if my culture wasn't so ignorant, I wouldn't have been mutilated. So it absolutely does affect my life, and it affects the lives of the children, and it affects the psychology of the men they become, affecting our entire society. So this is very harmful to children to mutilate them and cut apart the most sensitive part of their genitals for no reason. See, laughing at people trying to stop her from this rather sick abuse. Let's just go to her main page, main profile. Caitlin Kinsman, housekeeper at Kittery Inn and Suites. It's never like a PhD in something. It's always like, you know, working Beach Pea Baking Company. I'm not slamming somebody for where they work, but you know, it's never highly educated people. You never get really intelligent people arguing to mutilate their children. Most intelligent people do this, if they're supposedly intelligent, they do this behind closed doors and they're embarrassed to admit it. They don't come out in public and say this like this. Okay, so Amber Price says, I'm just gonna read through these. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna read through all of these. Okay, so sit back, grab a soda, some popcorn if you like, maybe a puke bag if you have one handy, and let's get into this. Not me, no offense to anyone who thinks otherwise, but if it's natural, why permanently change the baby's body? Okay, I think we need to be more offensive. Okay, so each his own. I honestly don't care what anyone does with their own children, but with my children, they will be circumcised for cleanliness reasons and for personal reasons. I do not have to share. I wonder what that means. Cleanliness reasons. That's the most ludicrous, nonsensical reason. I mean, Caitlin, you do know what you're sitting on, right? You do know you're sitting on genitals that are harder to clean. And I'm not saying that we should be shaming women. I'm not. I don't want this to come across as that. But what I want people to understand is that it's harder for women to clean. These are just facts. These are just anatomical facts. It's not bad, or it's not putting a judgment. I mean, women do it just fine, right? I mean, most women don't have diseases in their genitals because they know how to take care of them. Dogs and cats, mammals know how to take care of them. Rats, raccoons, cows, dogs, horses, they all know how to clean their genitals. They do just fine. We would not be here by no other nature. So these cleanliness excuses are just ridiculous. I mean, we have soap and shower technology we didn't have for the majority of our evolution. Yet we're here with all our genitals. Our genitals wouldn't even be here if they, anyways. Okay, Amber Price. I completely understand circumcision is absolutely a personal choice. It's a personal choice. No, it's not. It's a personal choice of the child, whether or not he wants to grow up. And there are no men that grow up and just have this major epiphany. Oh, I just need to have this choice. 99.99% of men don't choose to. The men that do choose to were body shamed, by a cutting culture. If they were born in Europe or South America, they don't choose to do this unless there's some weird kind of psycho weirdos. Okay. The key word is personal. Mom and dad choosing isn't personal. Very good point. Until a baby's old enough to make decisions, mom and dad will make them. So it's a personal choice. The baby you don't need to do this. So it's not like there's no pressing need that this has to happen. So you choosing this for the child is basically superseding their choice. There's absolutely no reason for this. This is only cultural. Okay. Gentleman Krabby says 100% disagree. Okay, they agree with each other because, right, they want to support each other's weirdness. It's just the way it is. Okay, Grain O'Brien says, cleanliness reasons, teach them how to wash themselves. Jesus Christ, the irony of it's a personal choice then doesn't give the baby a choice. Why not let him decide when he's older? Amber Price says, right, it's no different than teaching a baby how to wipe their butt, and that's how I see it, at least. Amber Price, this was a good friend of mine named Harry Larry. My body, my choice, a very, very powerful image there, but of course it doesn't apply to these women, even though I'm sure when it comes to their bodies, I hope I didn't just screw that up. I did. Okay, we'll have to go through and open these up anyways. Okay, that's fine. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Me, it will be my fourth son to do it too. It will be my fourth son to do it too. Son to do it. Just disgusting. Sandy Magalinga. Sandlai Malinga. Courtney Sierra Knowles. Did both my boys. Having a girl this time. You go, hun. Did both my boys. Doesn't that sound weird? You did your boys? Yeah, you did something horrible to them. You mutilated them. Disgusting. Stephanie Louise. I'm letting my man decide because I will never understand or have an opinion on it. He insists, so it shall be. Your man doesn't even know what he's missing. This is the most ridiculous excuse for mothers, because mothers are supposed to protect their children at all costs, and that even includes from their father. So you should never put anybody in front of your child, not even yourself. But of course, these mothers put their egos way in front of their children. They care so much about their egos. They argue for this, even when people are telling them it's harmful. Even when people show them pictures, it's nonsensical. Y'all, until you have a dick and know what it's like, I don't know how could be so sure about anything. Laugh my ass off, shaking my head, to each their own. Okay. Steven says, I have a dick. Unfortunately, I'm missing part of my penis because I wasn't protected as a child. Don't let your husband or anybody else physically and sexually abuse your child by taking a knife to their dick and crushing part of it off. And if you think that's okay, maybe you should go circumcise your own pussy. Human rights abuse against innocent children must stop. I love you, Steven. Seriously, what kind of psychopath takes a knife to a children's dick, tears it apart, cuts it up, and then clamps it, crushing parts of it off? This is circumcision for you. Boys deserve human rights. They don't deserve to be permanently damaged for life by fucking psychopaths. Right on, Stephen. If you say it, Stefan, I'm sorry. Harry Larry, my good man, says, this is an awesome image. Isn't it a bit strange that around the world, the most commonly modified part of the child is the genitals? Yeah, adults strapping down children and cutting apart their genitals is the most common body modification. Well, I mean, I guess maybe, yeah, it is the most common body, probably even more so than earrings. So putting earrings in a child, it's crazy. I mean, look at those images. How do you justify that? These people are just sick. Anyways, I did with my boy, and they did the Plastibell method, so they didn't have to cut at all. That's just ridiculous, lady. You don't even know that they have to. First off, they have to open up the closed hole because it's fused to the glands with a little hole for where the pee comes through the urethra, and they have to rip that open. So they have to grab it with clamps and literally rip it open, and then take a tool to separate the fused foreskin from the head of the glands, and they rip the head. It's like sticking. It would be like sticking a needle in between your fingernail and the bed of your nail and ripping it apart. And then they have to do the dorsal slit. It's absolutely nonsensical. It's just the Plastibell is horrific. It's a horrific mutilation device. John Siegel, did you ask for the method, or was it only the thing that they were offering? I mean, just like what kind of question is that? Like, what are you worried about the method? How about we just worry about the harm to the child? Okay. Alicia Marquez, not me. Good on you, Alicia. You're a fantastic mother. Jeneline Crabe, I'm sorry if I say that wrong. Not my body to mutilate. Very good point. Okay, so you got the weirdos laughing. Let's see who's laughing. The cutters are always laughing at these things. Let's get some of these cutters on here. Veronica Lazaro, Clayton Motif Featherson, Aaliyah Renee, Caitlin Kinsman. Wonderful people laughing at people that don't mutilate their child. Alicia Marquez says, right, if they want it done when they're older, they can still get it. I mean, I get the reason for saying this, but men don't wake up one day and just choose this for them unless they were body shamed their entire life. It's just a normal, natural body part. We don't wake up one day and say, I guess it's that time. I need to make my decision of whether or not I'm going to cut my earlobes off or not. And then, people, oh, you cut your earlobes off. Yeah, I just made that decision. It was just, we all need to make that decision. It's kind of crazy. Crystal Luck says, me got my first son done. I mean, really, it's never intelligent people. It really is never intelligent people. Crystal Lux, let's see. Let's see what this person looks like. Oops. Guess what? These dogs right here don't shower, and they have all their genitals. But not Crystal's son. Let's see if we can find out more about Crystal here. I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole too long. Did I just literally lose that place that we were at? Oh, Jesus. Okay, we're good. All right. This was a really good image right here. Could you take a knife to this baby's body while he screams for mercy? Infant circumcision is child abuse, period. I mean, look at that baby. Who could, harm that baby? Who does this? I can't fathom the psychology of the person that just thinks this is okay. I don't even get it. Like, cultural brainwashing, whatever. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Son was born October 31st, and I didn't get him one. Good on you, pretty tings. Whatever your real name is. Kylie Hill. Both my sons are. If this ends up being a boy, he will be too. Rather not risk infections. Kylie Hill. Guess who has way more infections than your son possibility will ever have? You do. Women do. Oh, geez, look at this couple. Yeah, it's never the smart ones. I promise you that. It's never the intelligent ones. Caitlin, looking for support. Okay, these weirdos look for support from other people. Misery loves company, right? When you know you've done something wrong, you want some support, right? You always look for outside support. Maybe someone did the same thing. Oh, I'm not so bad. I'm not so bad of a mother, right? Because other people support me. You're welcome. Screw mom shamers. There's always going to be those out there. Kylie, we are growing leaps and bounds. We are massively increasing in our size every day. And the more people that question this, the more people will open their minds to reality. In 10 or 15 years, this will be done with. So your social support is going to evaporate. And we will shame the mothers that did this, who could have had made a better choice for their children, who put their children in front of their own egos. This is all about you, Caitlin Kinsman. This did not benefit your child whatsoever. Okay, Caitlin says, of course there are. And with recent posts of mamas shaming a mama who wanted to get her son circumcised, I'd figure I'd let her know she isn't the only mama who agrees with her. You're a cutting culture. Yeah, of course you agree with her. You're brainwashed into believing this is okay. Or you're just, I don't know. I'm not going to, anyways. Okay, Kaylee Hill says, yes, most definitely. I see someone say that women who circumcise should just have girls. Yeah, we do hope that you do not have boys so that you don't mutilate them. Mariah Smith says, there's no risk of infection when they are left intact. You don't pull the skin back. That's what causes infection. It's literally attached till puberty. My almost 3-year-old son is not almost 3-year-old son is not circumcised and has not had any infections. My 30-year-old friend is not circumcised, neither are his brothers, and none of them have ever had infections. Y'all need to do some research. Right? Okay, Mariah Smith says, so y'all think slicing a baby's most sensitive body part off and then having an open wound sitting in pee and poop is healthier? Hell nah. You know, America is one of the only countries that does routine infant circumcision. America has the highest rate of STDs. The foreskin is there for many reasons. Watch a baby being circumcised. Go to foreskinfunction.org. Do some dang research. Right? Oh, maybe she did her research. She got a thumbs up. Who knows? Or that's just deflecting. Okay, Laura Hoosier. I know you, Laura. But cut boys are more likely to get infections. Sounds like you're a victim to quack scam artists, right? Okay, male circumcision greatly increases urinary tract infections. She gets a laugh. I mean, I guess if you're really so involved in your own ego that you care more about your ego than you do your children, you will ignore factual information, scientific research. You will ignore all sorts of different information because that doesn't fit your confirmational bias, and it causes cognitive dissonance, which is painful. It's painful to admit you made a mistake. Kaylee Hill says, Laura Hoosier, it really don't. Met more men that are not circumcised and had a bunch of UTIs. Laura Hoosier, liar. Not a liar, so fuck off. No, you are a liar, Kylie. Women have far more UTIs than men. This is just nonsense. You make up stuff and you think that we're going to fall for it. We're actually educated. Not you guys. You're not educated. That's why we're here shaming you. We shame you because you lie to yourselves. You lie to other parents. You do everything you can to support your weirdness, right? Okay, Leslie Richardson. How about learn how to teach your children to clean themselves, right? I mean, this is just common sense, right? Okay, Kylie Hill, I can do that very easily, but that's just how I was taught when I had my first, so I don't care what you say. I mean, this is what I'm saying, Kylie. You should care what people are trying to teach you so that you can protect your children, not harm them. And you can become a ret mother, you can become a better person, right? If you are a mutilator, your only option to become a decent human being is to regret what you've done. Because this is harmful no matter what you think, no matter what society tells you. Leslie Richardson, oh, so you're lazy. Okay, just say that next time. Poor kid, man. Kylie Hill. Nope, I don't care what you say. Go ahead and be a shamer. I don't give a shit for people like you. Kylie, you're not the person to, you're not in any position to put judgment on somebody and say that they're a shamer, right? People should shame people that are child abusers. If this was a girl, if this was you, you would want people to shame them for doing this to you. Just say you're a bad mother without saying you're a bad mother, right? Lisa Richardson, Lesia Richardson. Calling me a bad mother is reasons why people commit suicide. So congrats on being one of those that does more harm than good to others. Oh my gosh. This is the classic, oh, woe is me, I'm the victim here sort of play when the child is actually the victim. Wow. You're on the internet. Get off a public forum if you're too weak to take the heat from being a bad mother. You're also lazy, right? Lesia, you're awesome. That's right on the bot. Okay. Kylie Hill, I'm not a bad mother just because I circumcised your son. Absolutely, you are. If that's your definition of a bad mother, you get the fuck out of this group. Just because you don't agree with what people do doesn't make bad mothers. That just makes you a judgmental. No, because child abuse is supposed to be shamed. You're harming somebody else. You're harming the genitals of a little child who is helpless to fight back. And I don't know if you understand what shaming is designed in society to be for, but this is exactly what it's designed for. It's for people that harm children. You should be shamed. Child molesters, child abusers, people that beat women, people that steal, harm, rape, do all these horrible things. They should be shamed. They should be in prison, really. So literally, people that do this, that harm children should be in prison. But, I get it. You're from the cutting culture. So how about we just educate these people? But obviously they're not taking to that education. You're a bad mother because you'd rather have a part of him cut off instead of learning and teaching him how to clean himself. It's pure laziness. Kylie Hill responds, you're a bad mother because you treat others like shit. Hate to see how you have your kids treat others. How are you treating kids? You're the one that's treating kids bad. You're the one that's strapping them down and paying a quack with a knife to cut into their most sensitive body part, harming them and maiming them for life. You're talking about treating people, how they treat people? I went to the hospital not knowing anything, and the doctor told me about infections and risks. So yes, I decided to do it. Sue me, fuck off. Your doctor's a quack and doesn't know what he's doing. And he's trying to make money off of you. So this is the sad case that these mothers are being lied to by these quack physicians who are uneducated themselves. So Lesia Richardson, but you're not a first-time mom anymore. No better, or no better, do better. Okay. Maybe do some research because it's not about you anymore. Right. I don't care. I'm going to stick with what I know. So fuck off and stop worrying about others and what they do. And my child is not yours, so stop worrying about them. No, we worry about children because you're harming them. So we have a right. I wish somebody had worried about me. I wish somebody had stopped my mother, because if she had the opportunity to know, then I would be whole and I would not be mutilated. Plug in this thing real quick. Okay, Talia Torrance. I understand. I will try to keep my sentences short so you can translate. Circumcision destroys 20,000 nerve endings on a male, 8,000 on a female. It permanently destroys 16 functions of the penis. It makes his wife very uncomfortable. He permanently loses a lot of feelings. She's obviously from a different culture. It is like he's wearing 4 condoms. There are no health benefits. All men that are circumcised develop problems. Some have problems and have to take medication such as Viagra. It violates the child's rights to their body. Children are not having sex. It changes the brain. And you got infants, child circumcision, Elephant Hospital, which is a fantastic video. Okay, Kiki Smith. I mean, when he gets older, he's going to want some sucky. Girls don't like turtles. LOL. LJS. Wow. That's sexualizing an infant. So you're harming your child for the sexual preferences or fetishes, the weird fetishes, almost you could call it a scar fetish of his potential future mate. Kiki, let me tell you something. When women find out the truth of what they're missing out on with intact men and how much better it is, because we were literally designed by 150 million years to fit perfectly together. I mean, that's how long it's been assumed that a penile sheath has been part of mammal species in evolution. 150 million years, we're designed perfectly to fit together. Of course, that when you remove that, it alters the form and function, and that affects the outcome. So when women realize this and realize that, hey, my man's, or that the intact man is just so much is superior uh, in quality of sexual experience, then they will gravitate towards them immediately. So by the time your son is old enough, um, you're actually harming his potential. And so all the kids that have mothers that actually did their research and have, what we call common sense and decent, are decent human beings, and are not mothers that put their own egos in front of their children and can actually do real research before they make. I mean, I get it if some people are, manipulated by the doctors and then they regret it later when they find out better information. I totally get that, and I really don't blame all those mothers. I mean, this is a social thing that we do in our culture. It's a cultural thing, but no matter what, you still have to put your child in front of your egos. And when you do that, if you do your research, you'll find out the truth, and then you will never do it again to another child, and you'll regret doing it. And so these are opportunities, but they're ignoring the opportunity to learn better, to do better, which means they're scum. These are bottom dregs of the earth, roaches crawling on the floor. But the light's going to come on. The light's going to come on, and you're going to scurry back under your rock and wish that you had been a different human being. Because your sons are going to know this stuff when they get older. They're going to know the basic human facts of human anatomy. And when that happens, when men wrap their mind around this, there will be millions of pissed off men. And there will be millions of shattered relationships with men who are completely disgusted by it. I mean, if my mother was on a forum like this, talking like this Kiki Smith right here, I would disown her completely. I would never talk to her again. Uh, I would hate her with every ounce of every atom of my being. I would hate her because I know how damaging this is to my body and how damaging it was. But my mother is amazing. My mother, she apologized to me and she recognized the harm and damage, and she's cried about this, and she's even done a video about this. I mean, my mother's fantastic, and I really appreciate my mother coming clean and acknowledging that this was. And my mother was, like 22 in an army hospital, and she didn't even know what was going on. She was even told anything. I mean, I get it, and I get it. Mothers that are in the same situation that are like that their doctors are lying to them, that they think it's better for them or whatever. I met a Hispanic man that the doctor told him this would be the most important health thing you could do for your child. And then he ended up botching the circumcision and cutting off half his gland. No, I think it was a third of his glands with a Morgan clamp. And his son's in complete pain the rest of his life. And all due to this doctor that said this was the best thing he could possibly do for his son. When the father has lived his entire life, all of his ancestors have lived their entire life. Nearly, 90%, 95% of the men in that culture live their entire life just fine with all their genitals, probably even higher, like maybe 95, 98%, somewhere around there in Mexico. So anyways, so I get it when some people are manipulated and misled by doctors, but you have an opportunity to learn, you should learn, right? Kiki says, "Don't let your son have a hard time finding Becky by following trends." LOL. Uh, this is like so ironic the way that Kiki talks, because she's doing the exact same things that she's saying that others following trends. This is a trend to mutilate children. This is a trend that started in the 1890s, grew until massive numbers in the 1930s to 1950s, and is now on a decline. So this is a trend that needs to end. And when Becky in the future will jump ship like the rat leaving the ships when she finds out what she's missing with whole men, right? That's just facts. Girl, you're funny as fuck, Caitlin Kinsman. Laugh, laugh, laugh emoji as usual, LOL. It's not funny. This is nothing to laugh about. Okay, Grainy O'Brien says, Maybe girls over in the U.S. aren't able for it. Most men are intact over here, and they have no problems getting sucky. Rainy O'Brien, thank you. Okay. Kiki says, yeah, we ain't built for it. It's hard enough not to choke already. Up your game, girl. It actually makes it so much easier. It does make it so much easier, right? When you have 100% of the nerves, the work effort is vastly reduced. So I know because it's taken me a lot longer to reach that orgasm, especially as I age and the glands and my shaft has been exposed, which are the mucosal surfaces. They've been exposed for 44 years now. So that keratinization, that thickening of the skin, is taking what's left, the 25% of the nerve endings I have left, and putting it underneath, almost like a thicker part of skin, which is not supposed to be there. And so, yeah, absolutely, it's much harder. Okay. Samantha Lynn says people here in the U.S. are cut crazy because it's been ingrained in them. It's almost believing it's some mental illness. Seriously. I mean, you see how disturbing her comment is? Perfect example. Right, Samantha Lynn. Right on the button right there. Kiki says, Samantha Lynn, get over it, LOL. Kiki says, Grainy O'Brien, I wouldn't mind the experience, but a natural one has really been hard to find. Well, that's another reason why this happens, why people think, in these types of ways. It's nuts. It's nothing like that. Nothing like that comes out of the U.S. shocks me anymore, because the bar keeps getting lower when you hear your statements like that. I'm always a firm believer of your body, your choice. The child doesn't consent, so leave him alone. And then Harry, my friend, says, I'm sorry some women are so low class that they want to force infants into their fetish. I'm embarrassed by my culture. With cult highlighted. And some images of babies all over the world: Australia, Brazil, China, Denmark, Finland, Greece, Ireland, Russia, Spain, UK, Mexico, Norway. Smiling, happy babies. Mothers loving them, treating them wonderful. In the U.S., you got this baby screaming his head off as he gets mutilated for the most ridiculous of reasons. Harry says, Kiki Smith, would you get over it? Men are coming for ours, and we will never get over it till it's over, right? I'm not going to get over it until it ends. I can't wait to get over it. Laura Hoosier says, vile. Samantha Lynn, Kiki Smith, out here body shaming and sexualizing children from the start. People like you make me sick. Sure hope you don't have boys. Kiki responds, people like you are conditioned and simple-minded. Just program like slow robots. What? I mean, see, this is what I was saying. I read this earlier and I was like, this is like the epitome of what you're doing, Kiki. I mean, this is the epitome of what you're doing. You are conditioned, you're simple-minded, and you're programmed. Or else you wouldn't mutilate children. Get out of society's rules and onto your own. I don't get time for your kind, sweet face. It's really pointless at this point. I say get out your feelings and go heal you from whatever has so uptight and traumatized. The child is being traumatized, lady. Kiki. About the simplest things in life. Our children will grow up and have a sex life as is part of human nature. You people are so aggy. Go heal. Let me see. A little angry emoji here. Okay. Samantha says, honey, your sons won't be having sex as nature intended because y'all want to rob them from start at the birth. There's nothing wrong with a man's natural body. Your disgusting attitude is the issue. 100. Okay. And then, of course, can't say sex as nature intended without including the website Sex as Nature Intended here. So Harry Larry says, Kiki Smith, conditioned, simple-minded, programmed. Lady, American Cutter bimbos are all three. You don't even know what you are missing. And I got Sex as Nature Intended. If you haven't been to this website, I'll include it in the link below. But this is a fantastic website that everybody, in the description below, everybody should go check this website out and read it top to bottom to understand how this affects the both partners. It's not just the men that are affected by this. Rock Newell says, Kiki facts. And I say, miss. Another sexist name. Harry Larry says, miss. Okay, let's see this person here. I'm not going to go into rabbit holes right now. Okay, Harry Larry says, body shaming infants while sitting on irony. Disgusting. American bimbos be like, oh my god, intact penises are so disgusting. And a piece of roast beef just looks perfect right there, right? I mean, Heather Hernandez, this is a decision I left up to my husband. Although I would like to get it done, he doesn't want to since he's not, and neither is our older son. Why would anyone want to assault their child? What a sick statement. It's not your body, you won't be using it. How would you feel if your father preferred it for you? Okay, look at their faces. Baby, child, boy, girl, wrong, right? This is all wrong. If your child makes a face like that, you're doing something wrong. Okay, Shailene Tafoya, my fiance is 1,000% on circumcision team. So will I. So we will be doing it if it turns out to be a boy. Disgusting. Peter Fernbach says, your unconsenting son may not be on team circumcision. It's his penis. When I was a medical student over 30 years ago, the professor of pediatric urology who lectured my year on the subject used to refer to circumcised men as the sexually disadvantaged because of the loss of erogenous sensitive tissue. His view was that the procedure was of no value and only did harm. His advice was to do our best to talk parents out of it. A majority of my colleagues regard the procedure to be child abuse. The genital mutilation has no place in the 21st century. This guy's a doctor, right? He's a physician, I think in Australia or somewhere like that. Okay, Shailene Tafoya. Okay, well, I am not considering the sexual advantage or disadvantage to my child who's still developing inside my womb. You're attacking their genitals. This is the very thing that you're attacking. And the function of it is what we're talking about. How would you not consider that? It's just mind-blowing. I know it's very painful and difficult to get circumcised later on in life. No, it's very difficult and painful as a child because they can't even go under, whereas an adult man can go under and he's aware and can make a conscious decision. I have personal experience with my male siblings who are circumcised, and there's never been an issue with infections. I mean, well, that's ridiculous. You know how many intact men have never had an infection? The large majority of them. Nature doesn't create disease-causing tissue that must be fixed by insecure, uneducated mothers and quack, profit-driven, physicians who are quacks. Okay, I'm not doing it for religious reasons, so I'm thinking within the 21st century, from a personal experience with men and my fiance, men who are circumcised never had an issue with the loss of sensitivity. So I don't see or understand that side of the argument of your opinion. I respect that you have your scientific beliefs about it, but I have a personal experience with it, having been a parent to my own been a parent to my own siblings, and now a parent to be of my own. Wow. Okay. Peter Farnbach says, in Australia, that's right, he was in Australia. We leave foreskins alone. We don't take them off, and we track them. We also don't see all the infections and terrible things that parents in the U.S. are terrified of. In 30 years of medical practice, I haven't seen one circumcision performed for medically necessary reasons. The hygiene stuff is rubbish. The rate of STDs, for example, is higher, actually much higher in the U.S. than in countries that don't circumcise. The issue of removing let me explain that to you. The foreskin acts as a gliding tissue. It's a rolling, gliding, functional tissue that has a mechanical function during sex. Okay, so as the penis withdraws, it rolls and glides forward, and then as it goes back in, it rolls and unrolls, right? So it reduces the friction by dramatically reduces the friction. So what happens when you dramatically reduce the friction? You reduce micro tears. Micro tears are where diseases and stuff like that get through, right? So this is it's absolutely nonsensical. This is the reason why the U.S. has such high rates of STDs and HIV because of this. It doesn't help it in any sort of way. Okay, let's get back to this. The issue of removing foreskins in later childhood in the U.S. appears to relate to two things. The first relates to the bizarre and very common U.S. practice of retraction of the foreskin to clean underneath it. It's like the retraction of fingernails to clean under them, right? The structure is damaged, and this can lead to problems down the track. The second is that all sorts of unrelated conditions are attributed to the foreskin, kidney disease, etc., etc. The reality is, if that it was really a problem, the foreskin would have been selected eons ago in the plains in Africa. It would have been selected out of natural selection, basically, saying. In 30 years of medical practice here, I've only seen adults who wish that their parents left it alone as nature intended. It is a brutal mutilatory surgery that has no place, and as I said above, a majority regard the procedure to be child abuse for good reasons. Okay, Harry Larry says, Shailene Tafoya, ignorance and lack of education experience is not a legit reason to harm your child. Of course, everyone like me mutilated is working with a fraction of what we were born to experience. I hate being mutilated, and it was nobody's right. Not my mother, not my father, not my priest, and not the quack who mutilated me. And of course, here's the sensitivity mapping. So, of course, circumcised versus intact is dramatically. It's dramatic. It's 75% of the nerve endings, including the two most sensitive parts, which is the frenulum right here, which is the underside. This is the frenular delta, and also the ridge band that goes around in a circle. Okay, those are the two most sensitive parts: the frenulum and the ridge band, and in particular, in the ridge and the frenular delta. That's where the majority of the sensation is, and that's absolutely removed by mutilation. And Harry says to Peter, education is socially valued by some American women. They don't want to fit in with they want to fit in with the Joneses. They don't care a lick about their child. It's all about them, right? Okay. Steven says, go circumcise your own pussy first, you fucking child abuser. I hope you don't get blocked, Steven, but I love your sentiments. I agree with you 100%. I mean, these are child abusers. Okay. Chris C. Here we go again. Shake my head. Too much controversy on this subject. Okay. No matter what the opinion, there's no need to shame another mom for anything. Never mind this. Not a reason to shame a mother for anything? Wow. So you can do whatever you want to your child. You should have no social judgment from anybody. It just makes this is the mindset of these people. I mean, and remember, this woman has she works at a Applebee's bar and grill. She doesn't have a decent education, obviously. Okay, Ravens, Shy, Ferguson. Piscree, say it louder for the people in the back, right? No. Too much controversy on the subject. The controversy is that people are mutilating children, right? People are going to post on controversial topics, Kylie Hill says. If you don't like it, move on. Moms need to stop shaming others for parenting choices, especially if they ask an opinion on it and you get told you should only have a girl if you're considering circumcision, which is really smart because you don't mutilate girls in this culture. If we were someplace where they mutilated girls, we would probably just hope that you don't have children because all places that mutilate girls also mutilate boys. So, anyways, Caitlin Kinsman, fishing for support, says it wouldn't even be a controversial topic if people could mind their P's and Q's. How about you mind your P and your Q, and you stop forcing something on somebody else's P, Miss Caitlin. Caitlin says, sorry, that wasn't necessarily to you directly. I agree with you on that. There's so much controversial subjects that there's many controversial topics that has so much shaming, even breastfeeding versus formula. Well, yeah, you should be breastfeeding, not formula, if you can. I mean, you shouldn't be shamed if you're not producing enough milk and have to use formula. I mean, it's just the best that you can do, right? But I would say go to never mind, I won't go to that. Okay, Prissy C says, it's not about controversial topics, man. It's about the exact same one nearly daily, and that's the problem. Mom shaming because others don't agree with their beliefs. Beliefs are different than facts, Chris. Beliefs are different than facts. So when you know facts, like it's factually harmful, psychologically damaging, and sexually damaging for literally the most ridiculous, nonsensical of benefits that are factually ludicrous, then this is not about beliefs or opinions or anything like that. It's about facts, right? This has nothing to do with opinions. You have an opinion that's not based on fact. We don't have opinions. We have facts that we base our judgments upon. And these judgments based on facts are not opinions. They are facts, okay? Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but it's like this every time the specific subject comes up, the clause come out. Exactly. Especially from men like me who are mad as fuck about this. I'm mad that this happened to me. I'm disgusted that this happened to me. I'm sick that I have to even read stuff like this. I mean, it blows my mind. This is why I'm making this video. it's just as bad as talking about religion and politics. It shouldn't be that way. No, it should be that way. We need to shame people that do this. Okay, we need to shame them because this is not some benign thing that you get to choose. You're harming children. Catherine Robinson says, I think the issue with a post like this, it also divides parents into two categories, leading to one being better than the other. I don't really see the point of this post. If you have your child circumcised, then that's fine. If you don't, then that's fine too. But why post about it? That's no, that's wrong. We need to confront your genitals. You would be the first one complaining about it, and you'd be on these posts talking about how you want your whole body if it was you. So you're just a bunch of hypocrites. You're a bunch of hypocrites that value your own egos more than your own children. It's ridiculous. Okay, Kaylee Hill says, it is, but what if a first-time mom to this group wants to ask about it that has never seen one of these posts or has no idea about and generally wants to add about it? People shouldn't be assholes about it. Everyone is allowed to have their viewpoints on it. When the comments get like, if you circumcise, you should only be allowed to have girls, that's where people like that need to be gone. No. People like that are, giving what I consider a logical, factual opinion that, if decent human beings don't want to harm children, and this is harmful to children, and you're not going to harm a girl child because you wouldn't dare do this to her, then let's hope that you only have girls, right? Okay. A first-time mom here, and apparently I cannot go to the mom community for questions or opinions on anything without being shamed. Thanks for a lot of you for ruining that for me. Oh God, Caitlin, you're such the victim, aren't you? You're such the victim. You've had plenty of opportunity, plenty of options to learn and grow and become a better human being, but you refused every one of them. So don't come on here and act like you deserve some sort of special treatment, like you're the victim here. It just blows my mind that these people are, the victim, pretending like, I don't know. Anyways, Kylie Hill, I'm sorry you have to deal with that. There's really no safe mom groups for anybody anymore. Oh, I feel so bad for you. You really want to harm children, and there's no safe mom groups where you can talk about harming children without getting corrected by people who know better. Sorry, and that's the truth. This is on the way out, y'all. This is on the way out. So if you make these mistakes, if you're a parent, you make these mistakes, guess what's on the out? Your child will find out in the future what we already know, and that is the true facts and nature of the anatomy, structure, and function, how damaging this is to the sexuality, the receiving partner, the giving partner, and as well as the psychology of the child, and this literally alters who the child becomes. If you look at adverse childhood experiences through Harvard website, they will explain to you how early life trauma creates morphological changes in the brain structures. What morphological means is changes. There's alterations in the way the brain actually develops due to early life trauma. So this is not some benign, bland, uninfluential issue that is, a reasonable debate, whether you like purple or pink, or if you like red or blue. Those are, you can argue about those, and that's an opinion. These are not opinions. These are harmful things done to children. Okay, Kylie Hill says, I try to stick up for other moms. This is my third, so I understand. How about you try to stick up for the child? You all support each other instead of your own children. Like that's mind-boggling to me. Okay, and I say, Caitlin Kinsman, like minding your own body, we have to speak up for children because I wish someone had spoken up for me. If people didn't speak up for people, you wouldn't even have the right to vote, and some people would still own slaves. I appreciate all the women and men who speak up for those who can't speak up. Take your own advice and mind your own good advice and mind your own. In America, strapping down a child into restraints and ripping apart his penis is normal, but speaking out against it is inappropriate. Right. Okay. C, it's not a controversy to decent people. It's torture and child abuse for parental egos and medical quackery. Okay. Here's the aftermath. Children's faces. I mean, look at these children's faces. This is a torture. It's an absolute mind numb. It's an extreme level of torture. It's not a little bit. It's an extreme level of torture. Like, I would rather have my finger crushed than go through a circumcision again. Okay, I'd rather have my pinky sliced off, my ear sliced off. Those are rather not as sensitive areas as the genitals, right? You guys understand this, right? That these are the most sensitive areas of our body. So how is this in any way not extreme torture and something that's going to create an adverse childhood experience that is going to affect that child for his entire life, which it does. Okay, Raven, Shy, Ferguson. It's like y'all feed into arguments. Oh man, everyone's fighting about this topic. Let's write about another post about it. All right. Well, you know, good people are pretty pissed off about this, right? You're generally mutilating children. So, okay, Caitlin Kinsman, you aren't feeding into this comment by commenting. Laugh my. I mean, this is just, who is this person? She's actually attacking people that are on her side. It's just mind-boggling. Alaya Renee gives her hands up. That means that she's part of the circumcision mutilation crew. Let's look at Alaya Renee. All right. Oops, no, I don't want to message her. Let's pull up her Facebook and see who this is. Alaya Renee, there's her poor son there who was mutilated. Okay, let's see. View main profile. That poor kid. Sorry, I wish your mother was educated and you had been protected. I mean, you're adorable. I couldn't imagine somebody harming you. I couldn't imagine your own mother choosing to harm you. I'm sorry. I apologize that you were born into this, son. You deserved way better. You deserve way better. Montgomery, Alabama. Yeah. Let's see. About Target Distribution Center. Studied molecular billing and coding specialist at Daymar College. Was in Montgomery, Alabama, from Landover, Michigan. Okay. In a relationship. Places lived. Montgomery, Alabama, current city, and Landover, Maryland, hometown. Just weird. Just these people blow my mind. That poor kid. Katie Hunt says, I'm having a girl, but if it was a boy, we chose to do it. I've personally seen some messed up dudes from not having it done, not to mention health issues. My nephew ended up having to have his done when he was 8 because of medical reasons. It's absolutely awful on him, and he was mad that they hadn't done it when he was a baby. It was very painful for him when he was older. It's always very painful, and there's no medical reason to do this to anybody. The medical reasons to do this are as common as labiectomies. So when you have somebody say, hey, you know, I had my daughter, we had to remove her labia, or, you know, she had phimosis and we had to remove her clitoral hood. I mean, this, you never hear that. Why? Because it's not culturally acceptable. The reason why you hear just nonsense like this is, as that doctor earlier mentioned, they're doing forced retraction that actually damaged the tissue itself, and then they're cleaning it out with soap, which can destroy the natural bacteria and cause infections, because when you destroy the natural bacteria, it's supposed to have, you know, women have these body parts, right? We don't wash out girls' vaginas. If we did, they would cause an infection. Why? Because you wipe out the natural bacteria, the natural flora. We have bacteria all over our body. So to be squeamish about bacteria is just ludicrous. In fact, you have 8 pounds of bacteria in your gut. The average person has about 8 pounds to 10 pounds of bacteria. That means of your body weight. So imagine grabbing out that whole bacteria and holding it in your hand. 8 to 10 pounds of that. Okay, that's all bacteria. Okay, let's get past the potty stage level of development, and let's not be like, ew, ewy, kind of, you know, like childish shit. Like, that's potty stage shit. But anyways, no, there's no reason for an 8-year-old to ever have this done, unless, I guess the real reasons, the potential legit reasons, okay, are, number one, frostbite. Okay, it's really hard to just get a frostbite on your penis. So you probably have frostbite on your hands, your feet, your earlobes far before you're gonna get frostbite on your penis. But if it gets to that stage where you got frostbite on your penis, you're probably missing hands and feet and earlobes and noses, and then of course your foreskin. And that's a legit medical reason. Another one would be advanced cancer. Okay, advanced cancer of the foreskin. So advanced cancer, you might have to remove the foreskin. Okay, understandable. Peripheral artery disease, okay, and I forgot, damn, I forgot what it is. Peripheral artery disease and diabetic neuropathy, which are both advanced stages of diabetes, typically type 2 diabetes, found mostly in older adults. So that's a possibility. Again, just like the frostbite, you're going to have your toes missing first. You're going to have fingers missing, your lips and eyes and earlobes and stuff like that before it gets to the stage of the foreskin. So as you can see, these are extremely rare disease things. There's also a thing called BXO or lichen sclerosis, which is a very rare skin disease. Okay, those are almost the only legit reasons to do this, to amputate this body part. Not legit reasons are phimosis, paraphimosis, hypospadias, balanitis. Those are, I think, the most common ridiculous reasons, because they're all easily fixed. They're all easily corrected without resorting to amputation of body parts. And those are most often caused, if you're looking at, in particular, phimosis and paraphimosis, those are usually caused by forced retraction, by breaking the tissue that adheres the foreskin to the glands. This is called the balano-prepubital lamina. When you break the balano-prepubital lamina, the foreskin may not grow correctly, leading to phimosis later in life. So it's actually usually caused by doctors teaching incorrect cleaning techniques to parents, when all you need to do is literally wipe the outside. Dab it with a it's so easy to clean. You use soap on the outside, you wash it, and then you dab where the hole is. You don't even inject soap into that area, because you don't need to. There's a constant stream of urine come out of there that basically cleans it out and keeps it natural. That's natural and normal. That's how we're designed. Okay, Melissa K says, it's excruciatingly painful when they are babies as well. So much so, many babies go into brain shock from the trauma. At least your nephew had proper anesthesia and received pain meds. Plus, he had a basic understanding why he was in pain. Most likely, he didn't even have the surgery, though. Exactly. Many U.S. doctors are cut happy, greedy, and ignorant about normal, healthy foreskin. What was your nephew being retracted for or cleaning as a baby? Exactly. Melissa K, you are educated. That's damaging. The main reason when males have issues with their foreskin. Males cared for properly by their parents when they are old enough by themselves rarely have negative issues. You do well to do proper research. So you do well to do proper research so you can protect any future sons the same way you'll protect your daughter. Check out Your Whole Baby on Facebook and also their website by the same name. Okay, Katie Hunt. Okay, this is where you know that somebody just cares about themselves, right? Somebody's wrapped into their own ego, right? So this Katie Hunt. Okay, let's look at this person, because I want to show these people so that in the future their parents, their sons, can know what their mothers were saying about them. Okay, that's why I open these up, because I want to see who these people are. Let's see who they are. Okay, Katie Hunt lives in Weeki Wachee, Florida, from Rome, Georgia, in a relationship with Thomas Bullock. Okay. About. All right, family relationship, sister. Thomas, brother. Man, brother. I wish you could protect your son. Got the rebel flag on there. I hope you teach your kids better than that. Sorry, Thomas. Man, I wish you knew. Katie, I wish you did too. But you have the opportunity, and you denied it. You denied the opportunity. Melissa just did you a solid right here, educating you, and you're going to laugh at her. And then Melissa Annette says, why not circumcise your daughter, right? Okay, Treaty Brooks, me. You're a disgusting human being. Zalethia Golden, me. You're also a disgusting human being. Saveti Abel must have given her an angry face. Let's see. Yep. Might as well add him as a friend. Okay. Something wrong with what I said? Yes. Yes. Something is wrong with what you said. Because these little girls won't be talking about my son got skin on his. I mean, this is body shaming. Rock Newell. Okay, now we have to pull you up. We have to do a little research. View main profile. Kayla and Jakaria. Jarkayla, mom. Little Rye. Poor little Rye. Yeah. It's just mind-boggling. Mind-boggling about these people rocking well. Places lived. Yeah. It is what it is. Kaylee Hill says, I agree with circumcision. I just think this is funny. This is not funny. So you get... no, that did not mean to like that. Okay. I have done it, so I know for a fact they will talk about that skin. That's just nasty to me, and sometimes it smells on a man if they're not cleaning it. I mean, lady, are you serious? Do you know what you sit on? Do you know what you sit on? Do you know that your smells change throughout the month as your period comes and goes? Do you know that you have a natural odor that every guy that has ever been down on you has to deal with, right? And we're men. We actually have pheromones that are attracted to that. It's not like it's ooey or whatever. So if you're dating a man that stinks, guess what? He would stink if he didn't have a foreskin. He would still stink because he's not washing himself. He's not cleaning himself properly. We don't stink. Okay, this is absolutely not nonsensical. I mean, this is why I wanted to keep track of this. Ashley Ann, all three of my boys have it done, and I'm pregnant with my fourth boy, and I'll also have it done. That's disgusting. Ashley Ann, we have to pull you up. I have to look at into the face, the eyes of the demon. Oh, the beast. Beauty and the Beast. Your poor man. He doesn't even know what you've done to your own children. To your own poor children. Beware of pedophile. Well, I think I might be looking at one. She's mutilated 4 children. Absolutely disgusting. Family and relationships. Yeah, she's life events. Nah. That's Ashley Ann, mutilator of 4 children. That's crazy. Or will be having. She's working on the 4th one. Ashley Ray, I've been torn. My oldest, 12 years old. My oldest, 12 years, but I have read more on it since the year he was born. My husband, on the other sense, is 100% for it, hoping for a girl, so maybe it won't matter. I mean, why do you have to hope for a different child so you don't have to make a horrible decision about mutilating one child? This just makes no sense to me. I mean, you have this cognitive dissonance because you cut one before and you don't want to admit it that it's harmful, so you'd rather not even have the choice. I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, I hope you have a girl so you don't make the wrong decision. Because I hope anybody that mutilates children would have girls, because that's not part of our culture. Sarah Irene, ew, no, I don't mutilate my infants' genitals. My twins will stay as perfect and as whole as I made them. Wow, now this is a real mother here. This is how a real mother sounds. Okay, this is how a real mother sounds. I'm going to add her as a friend. Okay, Jeneline Krabby, go mama, yup, right. I got to support these wonderful people. Sarah, sad these women don't believe their babies are perfect, right? I'm going to give you the love emoji on that one. Laura and I used to be friends. And a different profile. Erin Samarie. Sarah Irene, some fucking awful people. If you want to have a circumcision, oh well, but you're against it, so that's your belief. So don't be rude about other people who do it to my boys who are circumcised, because I don't want them to think they look funny when they get older. Because I know a lot of people who did get their parents didn't do it, and they hate it, and they get a lot of infections now that they're totally clean. Now, even though they're totally clean people, that's just such a lie. I mean, just don't. I mean, if you're going to make up a lie, I mean, you don't have to lie about it, right? I mean, it's just not, it's absolutely, wow. Okay, Sarah Irene says they were probably prematurely retracted, i.e. their parents ripped their foreskin back before they were ready, so it's sad. Y'all are really too stubborn and ignorant to learn how to properly take care of an intact penis. Shaking my head. Aileen Rocha said, I said the same thing about my twins too. Nobody was laying a finger on them down there. Leave my babies alone. They are fine. They're just fine like that, right? I mean, decent human beings right here. Okay, Alicia Marquez says, just teach them to clean. They like everything else. I wouldn't want to see my son go through unnecessary pain just so little, for something cosmetology or to look nice. And when you circumcise, you're cutting off some of their nerves or feelings in it. Like, why, right? It's probably from Spanish culture or something. My guess is, yeah, New Mexico. Okay, Stevie Abel. Way to announce your ignorance and cruelty, right? Okay. Laugh emoji from Caitlin Kinsman. Extremely unsettling and gross. You think it's funny to mutilate babies. I agree. Let's give her the hate emoji here. You're stupid for thinking it's mutilation. They do it at hospitals for Christ's sake. It's not like I'm going to take him home and chop it off myself. That's just, I mean, just disgusting. Seriously deranged, right? She is seriously deranged. Sarah Irene. Bye. Yeah, how about you go bye? Let me give her the laugh emoji here. Oops. Not what I'm trying to do. Jeline Crabby. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Sorry. Jenna Lynn. Okay, right. Why would you post on Facebook that you're going to surgically remove skin from your son's penis? Beyond me, right? Kylie Hill, why you care is beyond me. Good people care about child abuse. I mean, what's not to understand about that? Stevie Abel says, it's a human rights violation, will be illegal soon. Child abuse is everyone's business. Yes. You're awesome, Stevie. Tyree Williams, you think the doctor will be doing it, not her? I think the doctor will be doing it, not her. Duh. Just weird people. You're from, oh, you studied in England? Okay, but you're not from there, obviously. Because English girls are not like that. At least the majority of them. Okay, Jeneline Krabs says, Kylie Hill, because not only is she mutilating a child's body, she's posting publicly on Facebook about her plans for it. Right. She's not mutilating, she's protecting him from having problems in the future. This is just nonsensical. If that's what you think, right? I do. People just getting more sensitive nowadays. Whatever. Okay, Grainy O'Brien, imagine obsessing over whether or not to cut off a piece of your child's genitals and not give them the option to do it themselves when they're older. Your body, your choice, and all that. Right. Kara Knighton, me got both my boys circumcision. Derp. Derp, derp. I mean, not the smartest people, not the sharpest tools in the shed. Christy Mila said, why? Seriously, can anyone who has said that they tell me why? Because I cannot fathom a reason to mutilate my child without their consent other than if it was for his health. I mean, we talked about the health potential. It is 100% for his health. I'm not going to always be there to clean his junk. So instead of having a dirty teenage boy, because let's face it, all teenage boys are gross, get infection because he isn't cleaning properly, why not just eliminate that chance? Wow. I mean, this is the dregs. You're just making up shit. You sit on far more dangerous genitals. Far more. And again, it's not body shaming. Women can easily take care of themselves. That's, nature has given us the ability to take care of ourselves. We wouldn't even be here. We didn't have showers for millions of years. Showers is a relatively new thing. Okay. Soap. Okay. We didn't have soap for hundreds of thousands of years. How do you think we survive? You know, and you sitting on far more dangerous genitals. How are you body shaming men? This is basically body shaming, and also shaming the men. You know, like assuming that we're incompetent at cleaning ourselves. It's just absolutely not. It's just disgusting. Why do you think your kid is dirty and is stupid and dirty? My son is 5 and washed themselves in the nursing home. They never had issues. Like your son must be raised. Like man, your son must be raised to be dirty. Ew. Courtney Shim. Oh my God, child abuse. Let your 5-year-old shower by himself. He could drown. You know, I can't believe you would ever do that. What? So I didn't raise a stupid kid. That's your problem. I don't know where Courtney's from, but let's add her, right? Okay, there we go. God forbid an accident doesn't happen and you don't lose your son. I mean, the accident's going to happen when you mutilate him. That's the more likely chance. Same could be said to you. This could literally be your son. God forbid you lose your son for cosmetic surgery where he bleeds out or has a messed up penis because of circumcision. Okay, let me stay on page. I want to open this up because I want to save this. This looks like a pretty fantastic line. I'll get back to that later. Okay. Or this, can't believe you're too lazy to teach your son how to clean himself, but rather risk his life and body. Right? Okay, let's open that one up. Lesia Richardson. So, like, teach him? Yeah, because your kids do everything you teach them, right? Wow. She's just nonsensical. I mean, she's grasping for straws. Any excuse than to take the ego hit and recognize that she's actually harmed her own kid. I mean, yeah, they're great kids who listen, and when I teach them something, they listen. Try being a parent. Your kids might listen too, right? Right. Honestly, both is a risk. Nobody's a bad mom if they do it or don't. But being cut or cut wrong could or could not have a nasty infection is bound to happen if the kid isn't circumcised. As a kid, the kids won't pull back the skin all the time. They're too young to remember it because my nephew you had so bad when he was in the hospital for months. I mean, come on, people. I mean, women have far more dangerous genitals, and you go through periods of time when you're not the cleanliest either. Children don't need to be, fire hosing themselves, their genitals to clean them. We have people traveled all over the world with whole penises without showers, right? Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, the Germans, right? They almost conquered the world with all their penises in dirty conditions. How did they do that? How did their genitals not just attack them and cause all sorts of diseases? Because, natural selection, our bodies are designed to not become diseased for just because we don't clean them with soap and water. I mean, they can stink and they're still fine. This is nonsensical. All these, men that had to have it done, or these diseases, infections. When all of the women that are doing this, they probably all had yeast infections. They probably all had UTIs. You guys are the ones that are getting infections and you're freaking out about it and telling us that we're dirty. I mean, this is body shaming. Some others think differently. I'm not even going to read that garbage. Actually, no, it's not. She literally do nothing to your kid. It's not a risk at all. In fact, if you go to the countries like Germany, iPhone, and I don't know what that means, Germany, iPhone, and several other countries where they don't circumcise, they have no problems. I also worked in a nursing home, never saw infections. It's called teaching your kids how to take a bath. Also, you do not pull back the foreskin on children. You do not pull back the foreskin until it naturally separates. It would be around 10, 11, or 12, at which age it's very easy to pull back and clean. If your son is smart enough to brush his teeth, he's smart enough to wash his penis. It sounds like your nephew was suffering from improper parenting. Right. Very simple and easy to clean. I highly doubt your nephew was in the hospital for months. A UTI is very easy to cure. In fact, females get it all the time. So you're lying or just confused. No, she's straight up lying. Let me pull this up. I think I have this one, but I'm going to make sure I do. Okay, yes. I want to love. Kyla, Jana, you don't pull back the skin. It's attached till puberty. That's why children are needing routine infant circumcisions at 3, 4 years old, etc. Uneducated folks don't know how to proper intact hair. Do it or don't, but at least stop the BS lies about care. Shaking my fucking head. Right. Jackie QR. Okay, Courtney Shin says, also circumcision is not a one-time thing. I dare you to ask a mom groups how many of their boys are recircumcised, and you'll see hundreds. Right. There's many times surgeries will happen, especially for meatal stenosis. They say about 20% of men suffer meatal stenosis. I suffer meatal stenosis. It's just a narrowing of the urethra. Like when I have a very high pressure stream coming out, it's kind of like it should come out a lot easier. And so everybody, one of the responses to non-protecting the opening of the urethra, which is the foreskin is designed to do, one of the repercussions of that is the body will narrow the opening of the urethra. It's called meatal stenosis. I know Jimmy Kimmel suffered it. I know Pat Brown suffered it. He's one of our Intactivists. And they have to go through an extremely painful surgery to open up that hole and hope that it doesn't close up again. And sometimes you have to have that surgery done multiple times. And it's an extremely painful surgery. It's just nonsensical. Gentleline Krabby, girl, you're the one who's posted this. Ask yourself. Also, why does anyone care about what somebody else does with their child? Right. I asked for people who was for circumcision, not asking for people to shame me. She posted just to cause drama, right? Lupita Flores. Right. Okay. Oh, I know. Gentleman Crab responds. Obviously don't know, though. Oh, yeah, we do know. You're asking why people care what others do with their child, but posting about it is asking for who is for it. So you also care about what other people are doing with their child to have asked, right? Good point. No, I'm looking for mamas who have done it are for the same thing as me for support. I don't give a fuck if you don't do it to your son. Yeah, she wants someone to validate her harm of children. Okay, Melinda M. Muhammad. My husband and I are Muslim. Our faith is done for religious reasons. My husband has it done as an infant. His brother did in Egypt during the 80s. Both survived. Their father had it done in Egypt in the late 50s and survived. The grandfather in the 20s in Egypt. In the medical factories back then weren't the best. Granted, my husband and his brother and their mother is a nurse, so she was able to monitor things because they show both. This article says it better than I could. I prefer this site over the Intactivist site. Circumcision Choice is a group of circumcision pedophiles who want to continue the mutilation, or parents who want to deny the harm. So this is not an unbiased site, even though they're a pro-leaning site, of course. Yeah, that's disgusting. Let's not like that. Oh, by the way, it's in the Quran that Allah created us perfect, and that Satan will try to convince you to cut off cows' ears and stuff like that and mutilate. So I guess Satan convinced you and is very successful at convincing you. So you should read the Quran. And I know you can talk about the Hadiths all day, but the Quran is far more important than the Hadiths. And sorry that there's that contradiction in there, but the Quran says we were made by Allah perfectly, and there's numerous parts of the Quran that say that. Okay, why would anyone care about someone beating their child or sexually assaulting them? Right. Obviously, we care about child abuse. Okay, if they want their baby walking around here with a lot of skin, let them. But damn it, I'm not. Remove the skin, please. We don't need extra, none extra. Like you have extra, lady. This Rock Newell is really degrading human being. Really, this is really sad to think like this. Remove the skin, please. We don't need none extra. Wow, crazy. Grainy O'Brien, why would people care if parents are willingly mutilating their child's genitals? I don't know. Can't quite put my finger on it. Right. Okay. Y'all are so dumb it hurts. Really? Nah, you're the dumb one for cleanliness. Fuck up and teach your kids how to wash themselves instead of being lazy. Right. She laughs about it. You just post this question to cause drama. Oh, really? I didn't possibly be looking for support of other mamas. I'm glad not all. I mean, did you expect just you're going to get nothing but support? And it's just horrible. You're a negative Nancy. Go away. I'm not being shamed. I'm not shaming anyone. I'm being shamed. No, you're shaming us men. Are you just? Do you have no faculty for logical reasoning? Okay, here's Rock Newell. Can't wait to hear what she says. And they will get grown and come sit on next lady's face smelling like fish down there. No, mama, that's nasty because you touch them. They do what they want when they grown. Wow, that's disgusting. I mean, that's a disgusting comment. Look, she got 37 replies. Granny O'Brien, teach them to wash themselves. It's not rocket science. Every lad I've been with has been intact and hasn't had any issue with the cleanliness of them. Makes me wonder what men y'all are meeting. Right? Right. Teach them, they still get grown and do what they want. Hell, my husband is skinless. I know your man is not. You love pulling back the skin, but not me. We are not the same. Oh, and I don't sleep with I sleep with my man, my husband. So yeah, stop trying to shame people that don't want their kids smelly when they're grown. Be gone, mother. Be gone. Be the mother when your son gets grown. Be saying, Billy, make sure you pull the skin back and clean, baby. Wow. That's your choice what dick you suck. But removing the foreskin on a baby without its consent is not okay. It's their body, not yours. You don't have to live it in the daily and for the rest of your life. Not because you're rather be lazy as fuck and not teaching them to wash themselves. You chop it off. Yeah, an extra 2 seconds to pull the skin back and clean it when they're a baby. No, well, you don't have to clean it when they're a baby. Okay, I'm gonna give her the thumbs up, but I'm gonna just kind of move past this stuff. This woman, Rock O'Neill. I don't want to get too far into this. I'm just gonna read all these just ridiculous comments. I think you guys let's move on to see if there's anything that's worthy of talking about. She asked for people who is for circumcision, not for people to comment being a bunch of mom shamers. Take your comments elsewhere. We don't support mutilation. Circumcision is completely unnecessary and barbaric. Facts are not attacks. Right? There are attacks. There are benefits of it. People are just so sensitive anymore these days. It's not your child, so move on. Sarah Irene, 100%. We're not going to move on. Kylie Hill. Kendra Lerman says, people are quick to call others names and jump down their throats in this group. It's gross, honesty. Keep scrolling. Hard pass. I'm not risking my son's life. Courtney Shin. Jia Maria Patterson. Did it with my first, doing it with my second. Rachel Gilbert says, circumcision is completely unnecessary, excruciating, painful, and permanently damaging. Literally, no more medical organizations in the world. I think I read this actually. Sorry, ma'am. Nothing you say is going to change my mind. J. Maria Patterson. Let's see this person. Medical assistant. J +2. I'm sorry, Jay. You deserved better than this. You deserve better than this, my brother. You deserve better than mutilation. By a medical assistant, no less. Just unbelievable. Lives in Cincinnati. Disgusting. Joni Alexis says, I was before actually researching it. When I was pregnant with my first child, I just thought that circumcision was no big deal and that every man was circumcised. I didn't even question it at the time because everyone said it was easier to clean. Then one day I saw a video of a baby being circumcised. Everything changed. Just one video clip was enough to make me want to know more and why we were blindly allowing this to happen to our babies because it was what you did. Circumcision is an unnecessary cosmetic procedure forced on non-consenting newborns due to false hygienic myths and social acceptance scare tactics. It's not a gentle or pain-free procedure ever because you cannot give a newborn proper anesthesia. And if you could, you're taking away that child's right to choose. You're removing part of the genitalia that is there for a reason and has a function. If it's illegal to do to baby boys, why are we still doing it to little boys? It's the same thing. Nurses will let the baby cry for 10 to 15 minutes afterwards and tell the parents he slept through it. No, he went into shock. Over 100 babies in the U.S. die every year from circumcision. This is a cruel, barbaric practice that needs to be outlawed. Ever watch a baby be numbed and then circumcised? Here's your chance. Aside from the United States, no other country in the world routinely circumcises baby boys for non-religious reasons. The foreskin is perfectly normal, healthy tissue and plays an important role in sexuality. Circumcision has no justifiable benefits and in fact harm from pain and suffering, to surgical botches to reduce maternal-child bonding. Wow, this person is educated. Medical authorities throughout the world consider circumcision medically unnecessary and unethical. U.S. death rate. More than 100 neonatal circumcisions-related deaths occur annually in the United States that are recorded. I don't think they're recorded because they don't record these. Because infant circumcision is an elective cosmetic procedure, all of these deaths are avoidable. Numbing use. Most newborns do not receive adequate anesthesia. Only 45% of doctors who do circumcision use any anesthesia at all. Obstetricians perform 70% of the circumcisions are least likely to use anesthesia. Only 25% do. Facts and myths. Medical advice have promoted infection in uncircumcised men. A shocking number of doctors are uneducated about the normal development of the foreskin, and they incorrectly tell parents that they have to retract the baby's foreskin and wash inside it at every diaper change. Doing this tears the foreskin from the tissue, called sentia, that connects, it's a lamina actually, ballot and prepubital lamina, that connects it to the head of the penis, leading to scarring and infections. The foreskin is connected to the head of the penis just like your fingernail is connected to your finger. Only wash what is seen, do not retract when intact. The foreskin has multiple functions, and removing it permanently alters the way the penis works. It is considered a cosmetic surgery, which makes it medically unnecessary. So the decision should be left up to him as an adult. Right. I am pregnant with my second boy. Paige. Bartender. Rachel Gilbert says, circumcision is completely unnecessary, excruciatingly painful. Okay, we already read that. My first hat is done. It went so smooth and healed perfectly. Now he looks great. Looks great, hey? Sexually attracted to your own child's mutilated genitals. Nasty. Y'all are disgusting. I don't know how you could read that and think that. Just because I voiced my opinion on what I'm choosing to... You're giving a aesthetic opinion on your child's genitals, saying that it looks great. That's weird. I mean, you're the one that's cutting apart their body, giving them a cosmetic procedure, and then saying it looks better. Okay, that's weird. Not trying to protect your child. That's normal. What I'm choosing to do with my child doesn't give anyone the right to start saying this stupid shit so ridiculous. I can't imagine being a girl and thinking, I know what's best for my man's body. He never had a penis, never been circumcised, yet you think it's necessary. Never stop to think maybe it's his body, so he should have a choice when he's older. What if he hates being cut like me? He will hate your guts. Have you no heart? His page says his dad was completely for it. Hate my guts? Get over yourself. His dad's a loser. Oops. I do hate mutilators. Sorry. Your husband has been socially conditioned. If someone took away your ability to see color at birth, you would go your entire life thinking everything is fine because you never experienced color. You can still see and function, but are missing something wonderful. The same can be said about this. How can a man be happy that they are cut if they have absolutely no idea what it's like not being cut? Intact men have far more sensitivity, have far better sexual experience as a whole. Personally, I hate being cut, and it's largely because I have minimal sensitivity and it gets worse gradually with age. Yep, exactly. I never chose this. I wasn't even botched. So yeah, a child can definitely hate their parents for mutilating them, for treating their genitals like property with zero regard for their body rights or that they would have wanted. not like it's reversible, and the potential complications from being cut aren't reversible. And so, to better help explain to your husband, there are many women in other cultures who are circumcised, which I'm sure you wouldn't want to have your clit removed. These women were raised to believe their circumcision was necessary, so they circumcised their own daughters. Yet they have no idea what it's like not being mutilated, and they laugh at this. Oh, did I laugh at that? Let's see if you laughed at this. No, I'm blocked from that person. Good. I'm doing something good. Her father thinks it looks great too. That's kind of incesty. Okay. That's a picture of a girl being mutilated. Of course. My body, my choice, unless you're born a boy. And then other people can dictate how big your penis looks, as well as how attractive it is for the parents to approve of his penis. I'm not really sure what she's saying there, but yeah. Anyways. All right. Mom shamers. I'm against child abusers and female genital mutilation. Is that shaming mothers too? Like, anyways, this is going on and on, but you guys can see how it's just absolutely mind-numbing, the things that these people say. This sickness, like Australia tea. I've never seen an adult male mad they were circumcised, and I've seen a ton of upset about embarrassed they weren't circumcised. I wish I could talk on that, but I'm blocked from being talked because I have all the messages. I've left too many messages on this apparently, so I'm blocked from talking about this. Nope, I have intact genitals. My children reserve the same right. My husband is cut, and he's also against circumcision, not his body, also against circumcision. Also, men who are cut as babies and children don't know what it's like to have a normal penis, so their opinion of cut penises is all they know. Not a good reason to be for it for somebody else's body. How does cutting your child's penis work for you? What if it wasn't your child? What if that isn't what your child wants for their body? You take that choice of basic human rights away from them. Destiny Marie says, me and let people talk bad on us. It's our sons. We have different rules. Y'all raise your sons how you want. When it comes to ours, let us do what we want. No, we won't let you just do what you want. We're gonna make it illegal one day. So sickos like you, and your sons will know this. Destiny Marie from Vernal, Utah, lives in Vernal, Utah, from North Las Vegas, Nevada. Me, Emmy Miller, Emma Miller. I like this. Chrissy Lopez said, this post be like, who is team mutilating my baby's genitals for no good reason, except to say it's my child and I can do whatever I want. Right. Very good point, Chrissy. Houston, Texas. We need her at some of these protests that we have in Houston coming up this weekend. I need support in assaulting my innocent baby. Right. Would you rather your child potentially get more diseases down there easily because of that extra foreskin? That's all it is skin. Do you have the same beliefs about your vulva? Right. I love Intactivists. You guys are amazing. Okay, reasons parents choose to circumcise their sons and why they're incorrect. Is cleaner? Actually, no, it's not. The foreskin is fused to glands until puberty, leaving nothing to clean whatsoever until 10 to 12 years old. When it does detach around that time, you wash it like the rest of your body. Women have to clean around their labias. It's no more difficult. Labias can trap bacteria, too. We don't cut them off, we wash. It reduces the risk of UTIs. The risk of reduction is less than 1%, not significant enough to amputate healthy functioning tissue. Not to mention the reduction only applies in infancy, not in adulthoods. As adults, intact and circumcised men have the same risk of developing urinary tract infections.
Women are 5 times more likely to get a UTI. They get antibiotics, and so can men. There are medical organizations who have said this 0.9% difference is due to a flawed study because the intact population study has more premature babies who are likely to have more medical problems in general. Other studies have not recreated this cherry-picked study by the AAP, allowing circumcised bleeding penises to heal in a diaper full of urine and feces increases risk of infection. Number 3, it reduces the risk of penile cancer. Aside from the fact that American Cancer Society has already spoken out against this not being true, let's pretend that for a minute it is. Penile cancer is already so low, is already so rare, 0.001%, that your son has a better chance of developing breast cancer than he does of ever developing penile cancer. We don't cut off breasts at birth. Penile cancer includes the shaft and the glands. The foreskin makes absolutely no difference. I mean, it does make a difference if the foreskin gets cancer, but I mean, it's if you cut off your pinky can't get pinky cancer. It's just, cutting off a part is not how you reduce cancer. That's just ludicrous. It reduces the risk of STDs and HIV. The only thing that prevents STDs are condoms, not circumcision. In actuality, the foreskin has been shown to have cells that act as part of the immune system in protecting against STDs. The 3 cherry-picked African studies where condoms were rarely used at the time referenced only a 1.48% difference on average, but had flaws pointed out by the Canadian Medical Association and other countries. The study done in Puerto Rico actually showed a higher risk in circumcised men. His penis should match his dad's. Ew, no, it shouldn't. Your son should never notice a difference in his dad's penis unless your family is keen on whipping it out at Thanksgiving and comparing. Circumcised penis look better. All penises look the same when erect, intact or not. Aside from the fact that the glands on the circumcised male is keratinized, dried out, and therefore looking smaller than it really should. Not to mention, pushing your sexual preference on your son's body is pedophilia. Now let's look at the fact. A baby boy dies every 2 days as a direct result of non-medical necessary circumcision. Thousands of men will suffer long-term complications, including hiatus, erectile dysfunction, painful erections, diminished sexual pleasure, rough jackhammering sex on their partners to achieve orgasms, and more. Over 250,000 men in the U.S. are currently restoring their foreskin in which they have been left intact at birth. Countless men as adults have sued their parents and practitioners for performing their circumcision without their consent as babies. The lack of foreskin will affect every circumcised man and their partner's intermittent life. The glands is supposed to be moist and covered, not dried out and keratinized. 75% of the world's men are intact. Almost half of the baby boys born in the U.S. are not left intact. No other country claims medical benefits because the AAP has been proven wrong by medical organizations currently being sued for this. Boys and girls are born with a prepuce. We don't cut it off girls. The male prepuce has 20,000 nerve endings, while the female prepuce clitoral hood has 8,000. Still think it's a good idea? If anyone has any questions, would like any information, feel free to message me. This course is not meant to shame circumcised men or parents that made the decision to do so. It's meant to raise an awareness and inform others of the risks so you can regret making the decision and share what you have learned so the cycle stops. Wow. Wow, just wow. I am copying that and saving that. That is fantastic, Abby. Abby, that is fantastic. Gotta copy that. I mean, that's just so good. I have to copy that. And I really appreciate that. That was a fantastic read. Really good information there. That's why I want that. And then she's going to post some bullshit from PubMed. Now, as a CNA, almost every man not circumcised had eventually caught an infection. They are more common as they get older and more diseases because we know men don't always clean themselves properly. And it's the most disgusting thing when they get old because lots of dirt gets in the flabby skin. I've experienced it firsthand while cleaning someone. 1 in 4 people get 1 or more infections uncircumcised as they get older compared to circumcised. That's a lot higher. That's just absolute garbage. Wow. This person needs to be exposed. We're going to have to find out more about her. Lexi Nicole, you are lying. You are lying. This is an absolute lie. An absolute lie. I can't believe how ludicrous you're lying. Okay. What a disgusting human being. Former hostess at Starlight Dinner. Former food server at... Okay, she's a former nurse assistant. CNA. Certified nursing assistant. I mean, you couldn't even go make it to a full nurse. It's not that hard to become a nurse. Wow. Lexi Fissel. Lexi Nicole. That's just horrible. And 1 in 4. I mean, that's the most nonsensical thing I've ever heard of. Studies nursing practice at Harrisburg Area Community College. You really need to study, because I don't know how you got past biology 101, because biology 101, if that was the case that men were getting all these infections, nature would have gotten rid of that body part a long time ago. And adds to the fact that there's no physiological difference that would cause men to have more diseases than women. And if you look at a female's genitalia, it's an innie, not an outie. So therefore, it's a lot harder to clean. And there's more folds and flaps and moisture involved. There's more smegma. There's more bacteria. There's more all of that stuff. I'm not body shaming. These are just facts. Harder to clean, way more smelly, has smells at different times of the month. It's not a bad thing. We're biological organisms. We live in a biological environment, and these are natural, normal parts of biological organisms. Every mammal, every animal on the planet has these similar things going on with them. So we all have bacteria in our body. So this woman is an absolute quack. Absolute quack. Just disgusting. Okay. The study that launched 1,000 snips. I'm going to have to read this one. This one looks like it's a pretty important view. Information here. Let's see. I need to support Abby. Sorry, I got to take a moment to like all these. Let's not like that. STIs. I mean, you're just going to these ridiculous websites that are parroting these cutter viewpoints of people, of quack doctors who make profit off of this. And there's really no justification for this. There's nothing that could justify this. None of these excuses, these ridiculous medical excuses, they shouldn't fool a 5th grade biology graduate. If you've graduated 5th grade biology, you have more than enough intellectual capacity or scientific knowledge to basically completely refute this. Okay, I'm just done with this. I mean, I did it for, I don't know how long we've been going for, but it's just, I mean, look at these people. Maya Letitia Smith, my son will be circumcised. Why? Because that's my decision, not your penis. I think part of this is I want to have some sort of accountability. The Mutilators Accountability Project. That's why I created the Mutilators Accountability Project. Let me just show you that real quick. The Mutilators Accountability Project is about saving these images, these pictures, these, people can upload any images right here. You can drag and drop. We want to keep track of these. I wrote some pretty information, what to upload. Go read through this. This is my Mutilators Accountability Project page on my website, Next Level Intactivism. And if you get these cutters saying horrible things and you want us to save this and incubate it for 15, 20 years, that's what we're doing. We're going to put these in a file. We put them in a date. And we're going to organize them. And so in the future, in 20 years or so, when the taboo is broken and the facts are more commonly known, and these children are nearing adulthood or at adulthood. I mean, we're not going to approach anybody who's not a fully adult, 18 or older. And then we're going to share this information, what their parents said, and who tried to counter them, and the horrible things that they responded with. And the reason why we're doing this is because we think that the children deserve the right to know what their parents are saying. These horrible, disgusting, evil things that these parents are saying, denying factual information from Intactivists who are trying to save their sons, just puking their ignorance all over the internet and exposing themselves for who they really are. I mean, these are the people that sexually assault children. and actively argue for the most nonsensical of excuses to do so. Hygiene is the most, I mean, it's absolutely nonsensical for any woman to sit there and say hygiene is a reason to mutilate a male child. It's body shaming. It's so ironic that the women doing this you literally have more infections, you have more yeast, you have more to deal with. Again, not sex shaming, but you do have more to deal with. It's harder to keep you clean than it is any intact man. So really, it's absolutely nonsensical. It's completely hypocritical, and it's horrible. It's harmful to children. This needs to stop, and we are going to stop this. And as we get closer to stopping this, we will share this information. So if you can, like, subscribe, and share this with people that you know. Please like this. I need to get likes on these. I have a lot of people watching these, and then it just takes a little scroll and then a spasm of your pinky, your index finger to click that like button. It's not very hard, and it will help me out because I can get more views that way. The more likes I get, the more views I can get, and so then we can reach other people who are not aware of this stuff. Anyways, share this as well. Share this on your Facebook. Share this on your Twitter. Let people know that we are done just letting mothers say these horrible things, that we are going to start exposing them for who they are and what they're saying, and they're not going to just get away with these things without being shamed. We should be shaming mothers who say horrible things about circumcision. We should be shaming child abusers. If you're abusing your child in any sort of fashion, whether it's beating them or molesting them or circumcising them, generally mutilating them. I'm sorry. Circumcision is one of the worst things you could do to a child. It is one of the most painful things. These are the most painful areas of our body. It's literal torture. It alters the mind. It damages the sexual organs for life. It changes the way sex happens. It alters the stroke pattern of the male. It reduces the female's pleasure. It reduces the male's pleasure. This is harmful in every sort of way. And any type of medical excuses or hygiene excuses are trivial, nonsensical, ridiculous, just excuses, nothing but excuses to continue this and perpetuate this harm, so that we don't have to admit that what we've done to another child is harmful, or that our husbands are missing something, and that that if they were intact, we might experience something even better. Even if we like it now, we might experience it even better if our husbands were intact. I'm speaking from a woman's perspective. So, this needs to stop. I'm a mutilated man. I hate this was done to me, and this is why I've dedicated my life to ending this. I spend the majority of my time working on this issue, creating programs that we can educate people. We create databases so we can target high-value people. We have volunteers working for us every day and night, sending out web forms, helping us with emails, doing tele-intactivism or making phone calls. We're doing all sorts of things to outreach to high-value targets. Some examples are media, organizations, doulas and midwives, parenting groups, child psychologists, doctors and lawyers, all those types of things. We're reaching out to people, and we're going to hope to end this in our society. We want to make this illegal. This should be nothing short of a sexual assault on a child, and it should be treated as the same as a very violent sexual assault on a child. And that's because that's exactly what it is. People say, "Oh, it's not because it's done by doctors. Why would doctors do it?" The doctors do it because number one, they don't want to admit they're just as valuable as the rest of us. They are uneducated about the anatomy, form, and function. They don't even have this in a lot of their textbooks. All they're taught is how to chop it off, and a lot of them botch that too. So there's literally no justification, no excuse anybody could come up with in their mind that could justify doing this to a child. And good people of the world will band together and come together and organize and stop this. And we're trying to help that process happen because, as you can see, we have far to go. We have too far to go in our culture. Just the ridiculousness that you read on that page is mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling, and we want accountability, and we want the future to know. We want future children to know what their parents have been saying about them, about this horrible act on their body. The idea that this prevents infection. I mean, I can understand if you're brainwashed or you believe something that's incorrect, or your medical doctors are lying to you. I mean, I can understand there being that sort of, oh, this is beneficial in some sort of way. But when somebody then approaches you and gives you the better information, it gives you the opportunity to know better, to do better, and you refuse it, and then you say horrible things, you're the person that we want to shame and expose. I am not ashamed whatsoever of shaming somebody. I'm not ashamed of shaming somebody who's harming children. It's just a simple fact. And whether or not they know that they're harming children, whether they believe their bullshit lies, that this, is not painful, they slept through it, or, I had this one thread and there was like 20 moms saying their children slept through it. I mean, that's nonsensical. If the doctors told you that, they lied. If you saw it and your child stopped crying, it's because they went into shock, which is part of the fight, flight, and freeze mechanism. Shock is when the child goes silent and they go into a disassociated state. This is not a good state, psychological state for a child to be in. It's where their brain's trying to remove them from the horrible pain that they're experiencing. I mean, it's just absolutely horrific. And the doctors are absolute quacks that are doing this. They have no medical justifications. The medical excuses are trivial, nonsensical lies, basically. So anyways, I'm going to stop talking. I know I talk too much sometimes. I love you guys. Thank you for listening, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch this whole video, and do everything you can to help me end this. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, do what you can to educate people. If you want to volunteer, go down in the description and click on our volunteer page. Our volunteer page is right here. We actually have a volunteer questionnaire. So if you go to our volunteer page, you can scroll down, click here for the volunteer questionnaire. There's a video on what our volunteers do. If you want to watch that video, help us protect babies. We think that we can save, if you do the numbers, if we can shorten this from 20 years to 8 years from now, where this starts to end, instead of 20 years from now, we could save 13,680,000 babies are protectable. We're up to 12 confirmed babies now. We need 25 volunteers to do this, and we need 110% dedication. We have about 15 volunteers right now. So we're on the way. Help with an existing project, data entry specialists, writers, educators, phone calls. See some of the current and proposed programs that we have. Okay, so anyways, thank you guys again for listening. We will end this. We will do what we can. So find out what you can do for Intactivism. Yes, I want to help save babies from genital cutting. You click this button, and then you go right to our volunteer questionnaire. If you're a mobile user, you're going to want to click here. And this is the questionnaire that you can go through. And then once we get that questionnaire back, we will call you and get a hold of you, and then we'll set you up so you can start helping us protect massive numbers of babies, because our volunteers are going to be some of the solution to help end this. So nobody's doing what we're doing. Nobody's organizing in the way that we're organizing. Nobody's creating contact databases and doing outreach in such a way. We're going to create the connection to the people that need to hear this, and that's what we're doing. So if you can help us, you can do tremendous help to help us. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for listening. And once again, we will end genital mutilation in our lifetime, and we will make it illegal in our lifetime.
Break up the adhesions between the foreskin and the head of the penis.
In pediatrics, the reason we're circumcising is mainly because you feel more comfortable with a circumcised penis, especially since your other two children are already circumcised, right? basically what we're doing is an elective procedure, primarily because you just feel more comfortable. In the clamp, then we clamp it.
Capitalization behind circumcisions. Hospitals and doctors can make big bucks off the procedure, especially since the foreskin doesn't always go out with the biohazard. Sometimes it's sold for a profit.
Look at the data. It looks like there are some things that it does reduce the incidence of, but there are things that are incredibly rare anyway.
There are religious, ethical, cultural, and medical reasons to circumcise. For Father Kobe Johnson, despite being circumcised himself, he decided not to circumcise his 4 boys.
The concern of, I'm going to look different than my dad, or I'm going to look different than the other guys in the middle school shower, it doesn't really come up that much.
To him, medical benefits didn't outweigh the risks.